Hey guys, what's up? It's Ripe again. In today's video, an entitled Karen attacks a disabled veteran and his family at a movie theater. This irate woman then claims we stole her seats and that my husband is faking his disability. She then attacks my service dog and learns a big lesson. Here is what happened. Let's dive right into the story. The first one starts like this. This is an experience I had just trying to go to the movies with my family one night. The cast of this story is me, my husband, the disabled army veteran, our 8-year-old daughter, and a Karen. As you can tell, just one of these things definitely does not belong in that picture. Just couple of quick things before we start getting into the action of the story. My husband was in the army and did active duty overseas for 2 tours. He ended up in a bad spot and got hurt to the point that he had to be honorably discharged. He normally uses a wheelchair and a cane to get around, but it is clear that he is injured by anybody watching him try to get around. One thing we love about modern day movie theaters is that when you get the tickets you can reserve your seats ahead of time. This means we can make sure before we go that the seats in the section with empty space for wheelchairs will be available. We got settled in with me on one side of my husband and our daughter on the other. My daughter was excited because she got to pick the movie and it was something kid-friendly and cartoony. We had popcorn, drinks, candy, the whole deal. That was when Karen showed up and started throwing a complete fit. I know it seems like I'm starting the conversation in the middle, but she really just came up to us already at 100 and screaming. "Karen, get out of my seat!" Husband, excuse me? What's your tone, lady? There are kids here. Don't tell me what to do. You are in my seat and you're gonna move right now. Husband, we have tickets for these exact seats. You can get an usher if your tickets are the same and we can deal with this like adults. Karen, he wouldn't sell me these seats because I'm not a cripple. This is the best view though, so you can get up and give me those seats now. She actually expected us to get up and move so she could have the seats in this area. I don't know where she thought my husband was gonna sit because of his wheelchair, and when he pointed out to the Karen, she got even angrier. I saw a couple of people leave the theater to probably get an usher about the screaming woman going nuts before a kid's movie. And by the way, Ripe stars, I'm not sure what usher means in the context of this story, but I guess it means some kind of security or something. But anyway, my husband told her that he needed this spot because of his chair, and she started to go on a huge rant that I think is better just summarized. According to her, my husband was too young to actually be disabled and he was faking the entire thing just in order to get good seats at a movie theater. That was also when she noticed my husband's service dog and went on another rant that no animals were allowed in the theaters. Even when security came and told her to take her seat or he would have to get security, she claimed that we stole her seats and she wanted them back. He explained too that they were for disabled guests and she yelled that he was faking it and she was not gonna stop until he got up. The usher left to get security to remove her, and at that point the entire situation escalated. When they left, she walked right up to the dog and kicked him hard. His cry of pain made sure that anybody not already watching the situation unfold was now paying full attention. Karen also had a bottle of soda in her hand and she decided that she was gonna try and use it as a weapon. So she hit my husband with it, right? Well, no, of course not, because Karens don't make sense. Instead, she hit our 8-year-old daughter with it, who was terrified from her screaming and now in tears from being attacked. She actually laughed after hitting a little girl and making her cry. Then she tried to go fist first after my husband, which was a horrible mistake. Disabled or not, he had his training and it was enough to block a hit from Karen. He took his cane and swung it at her, knocking her to the ground. That was when security arrived and they saw a crying girl, an enraged mother, and a father that just knocked Karen to the ground. Karen got up and started yelling assault and that she wanted my entire family arrested. It did not matter though, because it was self-defense and she was the only one that was getting banned from the movie theater and arrested. We were offered to press charges against her for animal and child abuse and we said yes because there was no way she was getting away with that. It took a while for our daughter to calm down and the staff offered her some free popcorn and soda replacements since during Karen's attack hers ended up all over the floor. They even had some promotional stickers from the movie they gave her and soon she had calmed down. His dog was also okay and more shaken up than anything. He was hiding between his legs. After a few sneaky pieces of popcorn thrown his way, he was also fine and back to focusing on work. The movie started about 20 minutes later than planned, but nobody in the theater was mad at us and knew that we did not do anything wrong. Still, we had to deal with pressing charges against Karen and taking her to court eventually. Everybody already knows that attacking a child is bad and attacking an animal is bad, but the difference is, with a service dog they are treated basically like medical equipment. So in addition, she was getting charged by going against the ADA and trying to stop his dog from doing his job. He cannot focus and help my husband if he is in pain on the ground. However, Karen was not able to come up with much of an argument in court and did not even try to lie and claim that she didn't do any of those things. Her only excuse was that real disabled people don't go to the movies at night, they only go during the day when normal people are at work. Did she think that disabled meant that my husband was not allowed to go out during the night? Was it like a reverse vampire? Of course, the defense did not work and she got charged with 3 counts of a misdemeanor. She was potentially facing up to 3 years in jail unless she could get a lawyer to fight and get it reduced. Her husband apparently was a big-shot business guy and they were able to afford a good lawyer that made it so she would be just on house arrest. She would also have mandatory counseling for her anger and CPS was going to keep an eye on her kids. It was the only Karen we have ever come across that tried to go after my husband for being an injured vet, and I really hope it was the last one. And wow, guys, I am absolutely speechless. This Karen is absolutely insane. You know, in cases like this, I am almost hoping that maybe either this Karen is some kind of drug addict or something and she was simply on drugs, or maybe she had some kind of mental issue that would not excuse but at least explain her actions. However, if she did all of this with a clear mind, then I almost lost faith in humanity. Anyway, let's continue to the next one. This one is titled, Karen Does Not Like Taxes. So, tales from one of my jobs in customer service. I work for a moving company that also offers storage services as well, and no, it's probably not the one you're thinking of. This company has an international presence and covers most of the US as well. I specifically work in the claims and disputes department, far enough up the food chain that if you are talking to me, you are most likely going to have a bad day by the time we are through. Roughly 90% of the customers I deal with have their cases sent to me because they are terrorizing the people that work on my team. The remaining 10% either have unique and challenging problems or one of the other claim agents finally snapped, leaving me with a mess to clean up. So July of 2020, in the middle of our busiest summer ever, that triple threat because normal summer rush plus masses of people moving due to the COVID job issue. And to make matters worse, all the people that normally moved in the few months leading up to our busy season, but could not because of quarantine, which meant we were drowning. This case comes across my desk because 1. The agent it was assigned to had no idea how to handle it, and 2. This woman was your typical Karen. It was a pricing dispute, typically our most common issue, next to scheduling disputes because people don't think about the logistics of moving a 2,000 square feet house across the country. Now, normally for things that make it to my desk, I take the time to read through all of the agent notes to see what they have found or seen on the account. Also, what communications they have with the customer before I reach out or do my own investigation. But because of the literal flood of people, therefore flood of new cases coming in every day, instead of the normal 2-week turnaround time for case resolution, it was taking 2 weeks for initial contact from an agent, let alone a resolution after the investigation. Being as swamped as we were, I was calling people on my list, going from oldest incident forward, trying to reach a resolution on my initial contact call. I had literally hundreds of new cases a day, which meant I was giving people money I would normally not give away. Normally I would do a proper investigation, and more than half of the people I talk with get their claim denied. So I called this Karen about her pricing dispute that got forwarded to me 2.5 weeks prior. I see on her account that she has been calling our regular customer service line daily, demanding to speak to the CEO or CFO of the company. Why they think they will actually get them is still a mystery to me. I also see from the agent's notes that she is claiming there is a difference on the price from what the document we sent to her was and what was being billed. Odd, but not impossible errors happen. When the agent could not resolve her issue immediately, the exact way she wanted, out came the obscenities and demands to speak to their manager's manager. Joy, as if my day was not hard enough already. She then picks up her phone. Karen, hello? Hi, is Karen available? Speaking. Hi, this is me, with X Moving Company, calling you on a monitored and recorded line about OP reference number for your billing. Karen, oh my god, it's about time you called me. You guys are so incompetent, literally all you do is steal people's money. My god, I was about to file a complaint with the BBB. Me, my apologies. Unfortunately, due to the current events, there has been an unprecedented number of people moving, which has caused delays in every department. And that's exactly why I am calling you today. I see that you have spoken to, insert other agent's name here, and you were not able to reach a resolution, so this was escalated to me. I'm reaching out so we can try to get a resolution on this matter as soon as possible. Karen, oh good, finally someone with sense in your company. So you're calling to credit me back for everything I've spent with your company, right? Me stopping dead, hoping I hear her wrong. Excuse me? Karen, that's what my dispute was for. Everything I've spent with your company for the last 3 years, I originally was going to do it with my bank, but my banker explained that a claim that large would mean having to close out and then reopen my entire account. And it would be so much easier if I handle it through your company, since you were the one billing me. I am floored by this, because this woman stored with us for almost 3 years before having all of her stuff shipped almost 4,000 miles away from her starting area. We are literally talking billing in the range of about $15,000. We are definitely not one of the cheap services in this field, and people usually pay the extra because of the reputation we have. No, I'm calling you about the specifics of your dispute. I see you did not give them to the customer service agent when you spoke to them, or the other claims agent. What part of this is not correct? Because what we can see, all of your billing matches up with the order documents we've been sending to your online account like you requested. You know when people talk about someone going from 0 to 60 at the drop of a pin. So yeah, she got on her high horse and did 0 to 120 in half that time. I legitimately had to take my headset off, holding it at arm's length, and I could still hear her screaming every obscenity in the book at me. This is one of the perks of working from home that now I won't have to live down the ribbing my team would have given me if this had happened in the office. After several minutes of this, she seemed to run out of breath or hot air, and I was finally able to get a word in edgewise. Me, ma'am, it's my job to find the discrepancy in the billing and the documents provided to you, and if there is a discrepancy in your favor, then credit you back for it. Now, which parts of this are you showing a different amount charged versus what shows on your bill? This starts her in on another tirade, albeit a much shorter one where she throws a mess of numbers at me. Which is rather confusing to me, as I'm not seeing any of the numbers she is giving me on her account before it clicks. Me, is the difference you are seeing on the long distance move this dollar amount? Karen, this is what I've been saying. God, you people need to learn how to listen. Me, and this is the difference you are seeing on these charges, right? Karen, yes. Me, oh, I see what the problem is. The document you have been referring to must be a quote, because the difference in all of your billing is just the taxes. You see, quotes don't include the taxes. If you look at the top of the quote, it says that in bold. Karen, so credit me back the taxes. You never said how much they were or that you were taking them. Me, I apologize, but I cannot do that. When you booked your order, the official document with all the taxes, fees and discounts was presented to you at that time. You've been charged the correct amount. Karen, then get me someone who can, because I want my money back. You guys are nothing but a bunch of idiots and thieves. Me, ma'am, there's no need for the kind of language you've been using on this call. Now, I regret to inform you of this, but nobody in this company can issue you a refund for this matter, as it's not a company policy or charge, but rather charges that originate at the state and federal levels. I hate paying taxes as much as the next person does, but if you have an issue with those charges, that's something I recommend you reach out to your state senator and discuss it with them. Karen, this is unacceptable and unprofessional. I demand to speak to your manager. Me, yeah, that's not gonna happen. See, I'm the highest level person in this company that talks to customers, period, full stop. There are exactly 4 people in this company that are above me, none of them talk to customers ever, and I have final say on any account or dispute in the company that gets escalated. Basically, I'm the manager you've been asking for, and I'm telling you no, we will not be issuing a refund on your account. Karen, this is unacceptable. I'm going to write bad reviews for your company everywhere and report you to the BBB. Me, go ahead, but just so you know, any dispute filed to the BBB or social media case opened about this will come across my desk in about 2 weeks, as I'm the one closing this dispute and we both know exactly how far that will get you. In addition, since all of our calls are recorded, any bad mouthing you do on social media can and will be removed, as there's proof we've been more than accommodating with you in your frivolous demands. Karen, fine, I'm just gonna dispute everything with my bank. They will stand with me. They've been my bank for years. Me, best of luck with that and have a nice day. Karen hangs up and I get busy notating everything about our exchange on her account. As well as her dispute, close her dispute as denied and then send emails to our accounting department and social media departments flagging her name and account, listing the details of what happened. Now, this would not be a satisfying story without the follow-up I got later. After my lovely conversation with this Karen in July, in early September I got an email from our accounting department with a note saying she had tried disputing it with her bank, and when they had reached out to us about the matter, we provided them with all of the documentation for her billing, including the quote she had based everything off of that had the disclaimer about taxes in bold on top. Needless to say, she did not win that, so all of her accounts had to be closed and then reopened for what amounted to a slap in the face, but wait, it gets better. Later that month, I get an email from my social media team that she had tried filing a complaint with the BBB, which was dismissed when we sent them a transcript of her call with me. Then she tried bashing the company on social media, which was also very short-lived as the social media team responded to her saying something along the lines that taxes were not something to make numerous racial slurs about an individual for. They had sent me a screenshot of the responses other people were making on her post that were just tearing her a new one before she eventually deleted it. I have not heard anything else about this Karen, but with her antics across multiple departments, she did get blacklisted by our company, so I am happy in the thought that I'll never have to deal with this particular woman ever again. And wow, guys, I gotta say, I am absolutely fascinated by the customer service skills of OP. I could have not dealt with this Karen in such a calm manner as he did. Honestly, he essentially diffused a ticking time bomb. I would say OP is an absolute legend. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and maybe even like the video if you wanna support me. Thank you so much in advance. The next one is titled, Always Drive the Posted Speed Limit. I have recently moved to a new neighborhood, slightly rural with some fun back roads. The roads around me are notorious for speeders. I will admit, before I moved here in my younger days, I loved racing around the turns. Now that I am older and wiser or something, I try to drive around the speed limit. But there is this one super awkward road on the way to my house. It has a decent enough slope that when going down it, you pick up speed. Posted speed limit is around 25, which means you have to ride your brakes just to maintain such a low speed. My super cool minivan is heavy and gains momentum quickly, but I can still maintain a 25 to 30 without keeping my foot on the brake the whole way. On this street is a lovely woman. I'm sure she is sick of people speeding down her street, but she is just not cool about it. She comes to a full stop when pulling into her driveway, just to slow people down even if they are doing the speed limit. Honks and yells at anyone going over 25. If she is in her driveway, she lifts her arms in the WTF gesture and yells at the passing cars. It is quite amusing. So the other day I was cruising down this street and there was a mail truck in front of me, so we were doing around 25 to 30. My lovely neighbor was in front of the mail truck. She pulls ever so slowly into her driveway, and as we pass, she toots her little horn and yells at us to slow down. At this point, I just brush it off. She does this, it's whatever. But today, my lucky day, as I am heading down the street again on my daily commute, my lovely neighbor pulls out behind me. I was doing around the speed limit, probably closer to 30. However, my lovely neighbor asked me to slow down again. I must slow down, probably should anyway. I go exactly 25 miles per hour, and when we reach the corner to my street, I drive the posted 15 miles per hour going around the curve. The posted speed on my street? 30. You bet I'm driving 30. At this point, lovely neighbor is annoyed. I can see in my rear view that she is throwing her hands up, clearly not happy. Nobody drives 30 on my street, not even the people that live here. It is a decent cut through to some main roads, probably why lovely neighbor was using it. And you bet your ass I pulled into my driveway nice and slow. Did not stop because I'm not a complete a-hole. Lovely neighbor speeds off in frustration, hitting at least 45 before she was out of sight.